Taps are maintained by generalized condition reinforcement and under thematic control. Rule governed behavior is verbal mediated behavior. Verbal antecedent stimulus, verbal response lacking point to point correspondence interval. Rules do not evoke or abate behavior directly. Topographical variability is not always constrained by the form of the controlling nonverbal antecedent stimulus. The response product of a codec is in a different modality than the verbal antecedent stimulus. Rules can account for some kind of novel behavior. Types of duplex are echoic, mimetic, copy of a text. Tacting looks like labeling. Two general types of speaker responses are topographical based and selection based. Verbal operands under formal control are duplex and codecs. Rule governed behavior is a higher order response class. Rules have function altering effects on the other stimuli. Nonverbal SD, nonverbal response is tact. The establishing operation, verbal response, mand. The autoclitic is a secondary verbal operand because it modifies the effect of the primary verbal operand of the listener. Interverbal refers to a behavior which we typically regard as conversation. Mands are under thematic control. Duplic, written verbal stimulus, written response, copying a text. Duplic, vocal verbal stimulus, vocal response, echoic. Contingency control behavior is operant behavior shaped or selected by its immediate consequences. Verbal operands under thematic control are mands, tacts, interverbals, and autoclitics. An alternative form for contingency controlled is an event governed. Variable features of interval are response form and modal similarity. Rule governed behavior is not shaped and maintained by its direct consequences. Two types of multiple control for verbal behavior described by Skinner and named by Michael are divergent multiple control and convergent multiple control. Types of codecs are textual response and taking dictation. With manding, the response form is not constrained by the establishing operation. A tact is a primary verbal operand controlled by nonverbal SD. A rule is a contingency specifying stimulus.